Hey, welcome back to day 2 of the C-Space Studio here at CES 2025. This is our live streamed series of conversations with leaders in advertising, marketing, branding, really about the future of human connection, the people who are dreaming it, the people who are building it. And my name is James Kotecki, happy to be your host for day 2 of these conversations, and very happy to be joined by the CTO of Pinterest himself, Mr. Matt Madrigal. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, James. Great to be here.
So Pinterest, people are familiar with Pinterest. We've actually had Pinterest in the C-Space Studio before,
Awesome.
But I always like to get people's individual takes on what the brand is and what it means. So how do you define Pinterest, especially here at the start of 2025?
Yeah, so Pinterest is, our mission is to help people, find the inspiration to create a life they love. And so think about Pinterest and how the platform's evolved. If you think about like the last 25 years of search has been really about text-based search, frankly, extension of command line prompts. Even how users are interacting with these Gen AI chatbots is much more text-based. And really I think about Pinterest as being the place where you can find inspiration, where we can differentiate ourselves, find inspiration, make visual search much more intuitive and personalized, better than any place else on the web.
It's interesting that you call it back to the idea of command line prompts. And I'm not sure that everybody who's watching these necessarily even remembers those days, but you're talking about kind of like the old school computers, right, where it's just lines of text on a screen. Maybe it's like green text blinking like an old school hacker in some 90s movie or something. Yeah. And you're saying that, I mean, I guess that makes sense, is that the people who built Google and all those things were kind of working with that mentality, and now we need a new mentality.
Yeah, that's right. So if you think about Pinterest and what makes the experience so special is that when you come to Pinterest, it's really about visual discovery, inspiration, and from our perspective, it's a really unique user experience where in one consumer experience you can get inspiration. So for example, if I'm redesigning my home or my home office, I can get cool ideas, like I'm sure your home office is awesome, and so get some ideas there, and maybe share a board with some of the friends, some of my friends there, and then. But if I find something I really liked it and I want to move forward with that renovation, I can actually then go take action and go buy that. And so in a single experience, so you get top of the funnel inspiration all the way through to shopping, if that's ultimately what you're there for.
And for people who haven't maybe been to Pinterest in a while or just want a refresher on what the search interface actually looks like, what would it really mean to shift our mentality to a visual first, visually based search? Are we talking about taking a picture of something and finding something similar? What does that mean?
Yeah, so visual search on Pinterest, it's a couple things. One is, we've made everything on the platform searchable. So if you see an image or a pin that you like, you can just highlight a certain section. Our computer vision AI technology will then render similar options there, show that, and we have full multimodal search capability, so you can also refine with text as well. I think what really differentiates the Pinterest search experience, though, is that it's highly personalized. So we know your preferences, and we'll show you similar products and content that we think you'll like.
So we're here at CES 2025. What brings Pinterest to this moment, this show, and this year?
Yeah, we're talking about our focus for this year, which is we've always been at the forefront of visual search, and we're doubling down on that in 2025 to make it easier for our users to find whatever inspires them, and then also help them shop. So 50% of the users who come to Pinterest, 50% of our 500 million monthly active users are here to shop. Gen Z is our largest, largest group and fastest growing group of users, and so we're really focused on building a great experience for them.
Does Gen Z want or need, other than more and better of what you're already doing, is there a different mentality that you need to have when you're building for Gen Z? Do they want different things?
Yeah, one of the things we've talked about is at Pinterest, we want to take inspiration to action. So wherever you get inspired in the process, you can take action. Again, if you want to save something, save something to a board, share it with your friend, or ultimately end up shopping. What Gen Z also likes about us is the positivity, and we've talked about being the positive corner of the internet, and all of our AI models are tuned for that. And so that's one thing that we've it's a big point of emphasis for us.
And I think that's been consistent with conversations we've had here with Pinterest in the past, is that idea of a positive space on the internet. How does AI fit into all of this for you? And I know that's a very broad question. In some ways, it's a very general question. So I want you to take that however you want in terms of what's top of mind for you with AI and how you're incorporating that into what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a great question. So a couple things. One is, AI just makes the experience better for our users. And so if you think about visual discovery, where we can take a combination of generative AI and proprietary Pinterest models, what we can do there is help users understand what their tastes look like that they may not even be aware of. So for example, we can take an image's words out of text that we see on search platform to really decode what an image's style, taste, and materials. And so you could come to the site and say, oh wait, I didn't realize I was into this earth tone color palette, and then find similar options with that. And so just improving the experience. And then for our advertisers, using AI to create better performance tools. So we just announced Pinterest Performance Plus Creative. We've seen really great results, and the concept there is generative AI powers custom pin backgrounds based on what the users want to see. So we've had some use cases like Walgreens, for example, used Performance Plus Creative with a subset of their ads. Saw a 55% increase in click-through rate using these AI backgrounds that are much more about like this, like a lifestyle image versus like a white background.
And those backgrounds are, or could be in the future, also kind of customized for the individual user based on what you already know about their interests.
Exactly. In fact, they are actually, and that's what's so awesome about this product, and a lot of our investment on the ad side, which is just on the performance piece, where how can we connect advertisers, and using that the ads is really great content for our users, and so we'll continue to invest in that.
What philosophy, guardrails, rules do you have for the company around the use of Gen AI to make sure that it's happening the right way? I imagine in an image-rich place like Pinterest, and you have generative AI that can create all sorts of images, there's probably some policies and philosophies that you need to have in place.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's core to everything we build in our platform. So we talk about positivity, and we're always tuning the algorithms to make sure that we're optimizing for not time on site, but time well spent on site. And so that's where, again, just enabling the inspiration to take action if that's what the users want. So we have our models tuned for that, both proprietary models and then other Gen AI things that then we also obviously have human review too, just to make sure that we are, again, holding that standard of this positive corner of the internet.
What does human creativity then mean in the era of generative AI?
Yeah. I think Gen AI is just, I think it assists and enhances human creativity. I think about some of the Gen AI backgrounds I mentioned with like the pin backgrounds with Pinterest Performance Plus Creative. That can happen at a scale that frankly, that it'd be hard to replicate with humans, and it creates that really engaging content. Again, the Walgreens example I gave with a 55% improvement in click-through rate is one example.
Is there something that you're building today, and maybe what we're already talking about already is this, that feels like sci-fi, feels like cutting edge?
Yeah, we've talked about multimodal search, and a couple things that we're doing is, if you just imagine if you see something you really like, but you don't know where to find it, and some of the things that we're doing by combining the best of what we see from image search, helping users go from taste to actual product that they might be interested in, and then generating these collages and auto collages that can be shared out. There's some pretty cool stuff that we're building out there that's got us fired up.
If you were to define 2025 in a phrase, 2025 is going to be the year of what?
Discovery, visual discovery. It's all about discovery.
And we're here at CES. It's a land of CES is a show that's all about discovery and all different types of technologies and industries kind of bumping up against each other and all sorts of creative ideas happening. What inspires you beyond the day-to-day work that you're doing and even beyond your industry? What inspires you when you're thinking about the next innovation?
Yeah, I think about like how I search on the web, or how I see my daughters, for example, use different tools to find what they're looking for, and it always starts with images. 50% of our brain is wired for visual processing, and there's so much opportunity there. You couple that with how we personalize the experience on Pinterest, and that's what's got me really excited about the future of what we're building out.
A lot of the people that I talk to here in the C Space studio are probably millennials, Gen X, maybe even above.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the next generation having a bit of a different mentality. Have you found in talks with customers and brands that you're working with that you need to kind of shake them a little bit and say, hey, you need to have a different mentality when it comes to reaching this group? The things that are maybe intuitive to you are differently intuitive to other groups.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fundamentals, especially if you take it from an advertiser perspective, about some of the concepts around performance, those are similar across the board. And I think what we're trying to do at Pinterest is, really helping those advertisers, for example, find just the users and bridge that gap, and that's where the visual discovery comes in, where maybe text can fall short because, again, you got to know exactly what you're looking for, whereas with discovery, there's something that can grab your eye or an attention from an image. You don't know what it is. Our job is to create the words to communicate what that is.
Wow. Well, Matt Madrigal, thank you so much for your confidence in my home office, and thank you for joining us here from Pinterest in the C-Space studio. We really appreciate it.
All right, can't wait to see the home office.
Gonna have to pin that up. Well, this is the C-Space studio here at CES 2025. We are just beginning day 2 of our conversations. I'm James Kotecki. Keep it right here because more is coming up right now.